Best Western made booking our family beach vacation a breeze, and it felt a little like... Time to go. Okay, kids, back in the room.
You gotta come on, guys. This has to be like...
Good night. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
Hello and welcome back to the Curious Kid Podcast. It's episode 95 of the podcast, so it's hard to come up with new things we can do that we've never done before. Today, we are going to do just that because we are going to open the mailbag twice. Mailbag! Dear Olivia, we absolutely love your show and the topics that you and your dad cover. My brother, Ryan, and I pick 2 episodes of your show every evening before going to bed. Every evening we learn something new. It also helps us connect with so many people you talk about across the globe during these times. We particularly love the music in the beginning. I was asked to write a poem for my Google Classroom, and I chose to write about your show, with a suggestion on what my brother and I might like to hear next. Hope you like it. Best wishes and thank you. Armand and Ryan from Morristown, New Jersey.
Holy smokes, that was a great email. It was so nice of Armand to write a poem about our podcast.
We are so lucky to have listeners that do special things like write poems about the podcast. Okay, Olivia, why don't you read the beautiful poem for us?
I want to tell you about the show. It is something you might not know. My mom found this for us when we did not know what to do. It kept us busy and taught us something new. Yesterday we learned about paper and how they come from trees. The day before that we heard all about trampolines. We would like to be curious about cheetahs next. Let me check if that's already on their list.
Wow, that was an amazing poem. We love it so much.
This week we are getting curious about cheetahs for Armand and Ryan.
Before researching for this episode, I have to admit that I didn't know a lot about cheetahs. I remembered hearing once that they were the fastest land animal, but that's pretty much all I knew. In fact, I would sometimes confuse them with other big cats that look similar. I'm so excited to learn all about cheetahs today. What's the question of the week?
The question of the week is, how many cheetahs are there in the world?
The cheetah is a large cat that can be found in Africa and in parts of Iran.
It has a small round head and a short snout and is spotted.
Most cheetahs have 2,000 to 3,000 spots, which helps keep them camouflaged. The biggest cheetahs get up to about 143 pounds, or about 65 kilograms.
This makes them smaller than other big cats.
One good way to help distinguish cheetahs from other big cats is that they have long black lines that run from the inside of each eye to the sides of their mouth.
These black lines are called tear lines because they run down the face from the eyes like the tear would.
And scientists think they have these black lines to help protect their eyes from the sun, the same way you would see a baseball or a football player apply black strips or black grease below their eyes to protect their eyes from the sun.
Cheetahs have a pale yellow coat and a long, flat tail.
The long, flat, muscular tail is one of the features that help the cheetah be so fast. It works to increase their speed and help them keep balance, kind of like the rudder of a boat that has a similar shape.
They are slender and they have long, thin legs that also help them go fast.
Just like I learned many years ago, cheetahs are the fastest land animal. Their semi-non-retractable claws and hard pads on their paws help them grip the ground as they gain speed. They can get up to speeds of about 70 to 80 miles per hour. they can do something else that is really cool. They are the only big cat that can turn in the middle of the air while sprinting. Besides the black tears on their faces, there are other things that separate the cheetah from other big cats.
Cheetahs are the only big cat that doesn't roar, they purr instead.
They also make other sounds that have been compared to chirping.
Cheetahs also hunt during the daytime. Other big cats hunt at night.
There are lots of reasons for this. Cheetahs have incredible vision during the day and can see prey from about 3 miles away. Their vision at night is not good. Also, cheetahs are not looking for a fight and avoid confrontation with other large animals. Even after a cheetah catches food, if it is approached by a larger or more aggressive animal, it will often just give up its food to avoid confrontation with another animal.
What do cheetahs eat?
They are carnivores, so they eat meat. Their favorite meals include antelopes and warthogs. Occasionally, they will opt for a smaller meal like a bird or a rabbit.
Cheetahs don't drink often, only once every 3 to 4 days.
That's incredible. I think you drink every 3 to 4 minutes. Cheetahs have actually learned not to drink often because they live in areas where water is scarce.
Female cheetahs usually live alone or with their babies,
while male cheetahs often live in small groups of 2 to 3 brothers that are called coalitions.
Female cheetahs give birth to between 2 and 8 cubs at once.
And then she will stay with them for about 2 years before they are able to fend for themselves.
Which animals are the predators of the cheetah?
Cheetah predators include hyenas, leopards, and lions. But it might be humans that do more harm to cheetahs than any other animal. Human settlements are taking away from the cheetah habitat, and cheetahs are having trouble competing for valuable resources. This ties into our question of the week. How many cheetahs are there worldwide?
There are less than 7,100 cheetahs in the wild.
Just 45 years ago, the number of cheetahs in the wild was twice as big, at about 14,000. Now, just about 7,100. Add to that another 1,700 or so in captivity, and there really aren't many cheetahs left. That's why they are Africa's most endangered big cat, and why they have been classified as vulnerable.
What is a cheetah in captivity?
That means a cheetah that isn't free and roaming around in the wild. Cheetahs have been in captivity since the first cheetah was introduced at the Zoological Society of London in 1829. Cheetahs in captivity live longer than cheetahs in the wild, but they also have less babies in captivity.
Cheetahs are beautiful, and I hope we take steps to save them before it's too late.
Of course, it's really important that we protect all threatened animals because each one of them, big and small, play an important role in our ecosystem. Don't go anywhere because we are about to make Curious Kid Podcast history.
Mailbag!
Mailbag! Good morning from Texas. We recently found your podcast and my 6 and 3-year-olds cannot get enough. Ever since the first episode we listened to, my son has a growing list of questions. I applaud you and Olivia for the time and effort that goes into this show. I apologize if you have discussed these topics already. We are jumping around the episodes. My very curious 6-year-old wants to know, how do flowers bloom? How does adding milk to eggs make them fluffy? He's referring to adding milk to scrambled eggs. Can spiders breathe underwater? We enjoy the podcast and tell all our friends about it. A big howdy from Texas to you and Olivia, Bennett and Cambry.
That's an amazing email. Thanks for the questions.
Those are some great questions. Let's learn more about whether spiders can breathe underwater. I remember I used to have the same question when I was younger. When I saw a spider, I used to call my dad over, and he would come catch the spider and flush it down the toilet. Then I wondered to myself, is the spider dead, or can the spider survive being flushed down the toilet?
Spiders like to stay near water because they drink water just like us.
Spiders are capable of spending lots of time submerged in water because they have a very slow metabolism. which also means that they need very little oxygen to survive.
That means spiders can survive underwater for more than 1 hour.
There is even a spider called the diving bell spider that can survive much longer than that. Diving bell spiders are able to build webs underwater and fill those webs with air, allowing them to survive for a full day without coming up for air.
For other spiders, if you flush it down the toilet or the drain, it will probably die.
We got curious about spider webs back in episode 9, and that was a fun episode, so check it out. In that episode, I mentioned that we have this contraption at home called a bugzooka that is really cool. It's basically a tube that you can suck bugs into and then release them outside so you don't kill them.
You could also examine them before you let them outside if you think bugs are interesting.
So that's what we use at home when we come across a spider. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's podcast number 95 on Cheetahs.
Great job, Olivia, and great job to our listeners in Morristown, New Jersey, and the great state of Texas for sending us emails. Are you ready for another letter in our secret code for the Season 4 finale?
The letter is T as in turtle.
That's T as in turtle. Collect all the letters we've been announcing in each episode since episode 90 and send the 12-letter secret code to CuriousKidPodcast@gmail.com for your chance to win something awesome from us. Do you want another chance at winning something? We are about to reveal another city that supports Curious Kid Podcast with everything they've got.
Thank you, San Jose, California.
Thank you so much, San Jose. If you are from the capital of Silicon Valley, let us know by sending us an email with a picture to show your San Jose pride. If you do, we will give you access to a future episode before anyone else gets to hear it. It'll be like taking a time machine into the future. One of you will even get something in the mail from the podcast. Just 5 more episodes until episode number 100. Next week, we will have a special guest to join us, so you won't want to miss it. As always, thank you so much for listening and getting curious with us. Hey Curious Kid Podcast family, we have a really exciting podcast to introduce you to called Cool Facts About Animals. On Curious Kid Podcast, we take listener suggestions. So many of your suggestions are for us to get curious about animals. We love animals, but we cover a wide variety of different topics, including animals, on Curious Kid Podcast. If you are looking for a great podcast just about animals to satisfy your cravings for all things animals, you have to check out Cool Facts About Animals. Their podcast started in 2018, just like Curious Kid Podcast. And guess which animal they covered in their very first episode? They covered cheetahs. Sorry, I didn't give you very long to guess. Just like us, they have about 100 episodes for you to enjoy. So check out Cool Facts About Animals to learn about so many awesome animals, like narwhals, sloths, and koalas. You can find the Cool Facts About Animals podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, or by clicking on the link to their podcast in the show notes for this episode.
What animal has 9 brains? And what species do the males give birth? The biggest animal that has ever lived is still alive today. This animal is immune to cancer. This animal only poops every 10 days. What is it? Did you know you could squish the deadliest animals on Earth? And maybe you already have.
Find out what animals we're talking about and learn a lot more about animals on Cool Facts About Animals, a podcast by kids and for kids.
Best Western made booking our family beach vacation a breeze, and it felt a little like... Time to go. Okay, kids, back in the room.
You gotta come on, guys. This has to be like...
Good night. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
Walmart Plus members save on meeting up with friends. Save on having them over for dinner with free delivery with no hidden fees or markups. That's groceries, plus napkins, plus that vegetable chopper to make things a bit easier. Plus, members save on gas to go meet them in their neck of the woods. Plus, when you're ready for the ultimate sign of friendship, start a show together with your included Paramount Plus subscription. Walmart Plus members save on this plus so much more. Start a 30-day free trial at walmartplus.com. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. See Walmart Plus terms and conditions.